Hello and welcome to the De-Stress Diet's Week 7 Expert Support Podcast, designed to help you move from finishing your 6-week plan into developing a de-stress diet lifestyle that works for you in the long term. I'm Anna McGee and I'm with my co-author Charlotte Watts, nutritional therapist and yoga teacher. And tonight we're going to share with you our own de-stress diet lifestyles and how we adapt the de-stress diet principles to our own lives. Evening, Charlotte.
Hello, Anna.
Tell me about your day-to-day de-stress diet lifestyle in any given week.
Yeah, any given week for me is quite interesting. I don't really have typical days. I have some semblance of a routine, daughter at nursery 3 days a week and various teaching commitments across town. But I've never been a person who thrives on routine. So I have to be careful not to be too reactive in life, not to just kind of keep going because everything's new all the time, because I can't necessarily schedule in all the kind of restorative stuff I want to do. Before I had my daughter, who's now 22 months, I was much more able to do all the kind of de-stress default lifestyle stuff that I did. So I very much do a kind of slimmer version of it now, shall we say. But I get it where I can, and I've just changed my routine. I walk everywhere. I don't have a driving license and I don't particularly want one because it makes me active. I carry things, I lug them, I push a buggy everywhere. I push up hills. I have to be very careful. I have days when my daughter's at nursery and I have to be very careful I don't just go into this kind of sitting on my bum and just working without getting out. So today I was doing things was I'm running up and down the stairs every so often just to keep myself moving. I can't do as long or as often a regular practice as I used to before I had a child. So I do what I can and when. I'm lucky that I have various teaching commitments kind of every other day. So I will make sure I walk to where I teach. I always factor walking into places to my time. And, the beauty of teaching yoga is you get to do some and you get to hear yourself talking about letting go and calming the front brain. So I do get that constant reminder that way. I have a challenge in that I tend to have to work most nights because that's some of the only time I get. So I do try and do something to wind down before bed, be it reading, yoga, just lying there even. It's keeping the hectic back, I feel. I have the kind of brain and the kind of want to do more, to always be doing more, and to fill all of my time with doing more stuff. And I have to be extremely mindful to pull myself back from that and find all that good space that we've been talking about.
As if the readers probably haven't gathered already, Charlotte and I are quite yin and yang. And where Charlotte doesn't thrive on routine, I absolutely adore routine. So my de-stress diet lifestyle, what happens in my life is I tend to go for up to about 5 or 6 months working in a certain way, and then another project will come along and I'll have to change the way I work or where I work, and I'll have to readapt my lifestyle, and it simply means I have to readapt my routine for whatever is going on for that period of time. So for the last, say, 6 or 7 months, I've been doing a particular de-stress diet lifestyle that's just working so well for me. Haven't felt this good in a long time, oddly. So I wake up in the morning and I do about 15 minutes of restorative yoga, which is in the de-stress diet book, the morning sequence. And after that, I'll probably sit for about 5 minutes, maybe 10, and do a simple breathing meditation. There's nothing fancy about it. It's simply sitting there and observing my breath. I just find that sets me up to feel calmer through the day. Then on Mondays and Fridays, I'll do an actual yoga class at lunchtime in the gym near where I work. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll also go to the gym and do our 25-minute de-stress diet strength training routine, which has been a real godsend for me because I'm someone that tends to exhaust myself with exercise and then get so tired that I'll go for months without doing anything because I simply can't find the energy. And the revelation of the de-stress diet has been the little and often approach to exercise and yoga that's meant that the type of exercise we do in the de-stress diet has actually increased my long-term energy and made me look forward to going to the gym. And that's been a real revelation for me. From a diet perspective, one of the main things that I take from the de-stress diet is to avoid sugar wherever I can, because I find if I eat sugar and carbohydrates in any given week, I will be exhausted by the weekend. It's almost guaranteed. If I decide on a Wednesday that I have to have that chocolate bar, chances are I'll want more the next day and the next day, and by the weekend I'll be absolutely knackered. Whereas if I can stop and make a healthier choice when I'm feeling tired, say to eat 6 almonds, or to literally take a breathing break, I tend to find my energy levels pick up rather than I become this exhausted sack by Saturday. And then the way that I de-stress would be seeing friends who make me laugh. That's one of my favorite things, is laughing. I absolutely love really irreverent comedies like The Family Guy and 30 Rock, any kind of panel show you could you could get. And really, I think the reading as well, cozying up with my iPad and reading a good book. And that's the way that I adapt the de-stress diet to my life. And I truly believe, I mean, this is my first book, and I've written so many health stories. And the one thing about this book is it's adaptable to any life. And that's why I stand behind it 100%, because I can feel that it works in the context of real life.
Oh, absolutely. Adaptability is everything when it comes to dealing with stress in your life. So you're not trying to just create, whether you like routine or not, you're not trying to create this kind of ideal scenario with all these little specific tick boxes. But if things change for you suddenly, then you don't get thrown off kilter. You just have something that you take with you that adapts with you. And that's something that becomes easier over time. I know you've been doing kind of looking at your health over a long period of time as well, and you know that the longer you keep doing the stuff that really suits you, the easier it is to just pull it round when you have those days where you lose the plot, or things get on top of you, or you go out and have a blowout in some way.
Absolutely. And that was my next question, is that the readers and listeners from now onwards will be facing all sorts of real life situations, celebrations, deadlines, holidays, and other times when sticking to their de-stress diet plans aren't always easy. What advice do you have for coming back to your de-stress diet lifestyle during those times?
I think partly it's about conditioning yourself to really consider how you have a good time. So if you truly believe that getting absolutely completely drunk and wolfing down 27 puddings is the only way to enjoy yourself, then hopefully by now, doing the de-stress diet, you will have found that that's not actually strictly true. And actually the payoff later is just not worth it. And it's about finding ways that it becomes less damaging. I mean, I always used to, even when I was first nutritionist, I used to just give up at Christmas and have this blowout, go, but it's Christmas, I'm just going to eat anything I want because I can. And that for me would be sugar, sugar, sugar. But then I would find that I would just feel awful. It would take me ages to get any kind of energy back. I'd be left with crippling sugar cravings. I'd feel ill into January, particularly after my, extremely alcohol fueled New Year's. And one year I just realized that really wasn't working for me. And it wasn't worth the payoff. It was finding the compromise of where I could, yes, enjoy the things that I enjoyed, but they didn't necessarily make me feel good, but where my level was. and I've just got better and better at stopping before that level. Now, that can take a long time. So in the meantime, you just need to find the things that are going to give you the space and restoration afterwards. So if you know you're going to go out, and have a few drinks at a celebration or something, then make sure you've got an easy couple of time the day after. If you know you're going to go out for a meal and put the puddings back, then make sure you've got a good protein-rich breakfast in the house for the next day. A lot of it's about a preparation, damage limitation, the things that pull you back round again.
And before we sign off, this is probably a good point to remind the readers of one of my favourite principles in the de-stress diet, which we call lifestyle default. And that's about when you lead a lifestyle such as the one we outline in de-stress diet, that focuses on high satisfaction eating, low stress lifestyle, and enjoyment of your day-to-day life, then the odd night out on the tiles, the odd falling off the rails doesn't matter as much. I find that incredibly liberating.
Yeah, and you don't find yourself suddenly having a pudding and it throws you back into sugar cravings again the next day. And this is something that, we hope you've explored up to now. So, the emails and the daily tips have been very much, particularly in the last couple of weeks, have been gearing you up to create your own personalized default de-stress lifestyle, so you know what suits you. So hopefully you have been writing down the stuff that you found makes you feel better, the stuff that, the particular breakfast, the particular food stuffs, the particular exercise and habits and behaviors, the ones that can pull you back round again with least stress. You don't want your journey of pulling yourself back to your default lifestyle to create more stress. That's incredibly important. You should be able to shrug your shoulders, smile at yourself, and then just kind of carry on again, not get frustrated and teeth gritty. So if that's something that you haven't been making note of, then you can always go back to the content in the emails over the last, in particular in phase 2 of the de-stress diet and the daily tips, and just start writing down stuff that is good for you.
Fantastic. Great advice. Thank you very much, Charlotte. And we wish you all the very best of luck with your de-stress diet future. And remember, you can keep coming back to destressyourlife.com for new bits of advice and information as often as you wish. That's de-stressyourlife.com.
Excellent. And yes, please do let us know how you're going on as well.